It is TikTok 100,000. 100,000 minutes I've spent on this platform. And one man has stood the test of time for this particular moment. Is the ultra incel boys.
The incel community is ontologically moral. And if you hate on ontologically moral communities, you are therefore definitionally ontologically evil. This is a
The most interesting individual, right? I have to break down all of his work and see what I can find. However, this time I will be prepared. This time I will binge his content before I stand up and talk about it. I have no idea what journey we're going to go into and what are we going to talk about, but already just talking about the incel, the world of incels, that's a whole thing. Let's put it this way. Live in a world of have. People want to have things. People want to even take things away from you, like peace and quiet. Something that I used to fucking have, but I don't anymore because capitalism is getting into the stage of toxicity. It's trying to take things away from me that I thought, I thought are fucking sacred. I thought could be protected by something, but it's not. These people had to be called out because they don't want to get out of mom's basement, because they don't want to go outside and touch grass hard enough. But in the end, we are all isolated, especially if we don't use social media. So this guy, not an incel anymore because, well, he has enough followers not to be. If you have 10,000 followers on TikTok, you're probably not an incel anymore. Congratulations. You lost that identity. You could be an incel leader, though. That's cool. You can use me. Use me. Leader. I don't have 10,000 followers yet, but I almost have 1,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube, which is equivalent of 10,000 on TikTok. We live in a world of isolationism, and this is just something that's going to happen. But we can't even describe exactly who incels are because we might be wrong. We're supposed to catch the bad guys and give them the bad name. We're not supposed to attack the good guys. That's the whole fucking point of morality. We don't want to waste our time doing bad things to good people when karma is gonna fucking happen big time. Good people are good at revenge. I'm just saying. Discord server.
my
What
Discord
is he up
server,
to?
NEOCOM World Order, is currently live. Link in my TikTok bio. Don't get your account back.
Got muted right away. Got banned. You wrote the N word.
World Order is currently.
Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna embark on a journey and find the best takes, I guess. How many videos did he upload? 3 mil likes. That is equivalent of 30, 40 million views, if not way, way more, because of the radical nature of this content. This is merely this moment. Alright. No insults. I'm not sure how deep we will have to go until the image could fall apart on us, right? Dirt gathers as you travel the road, and unfortunately, not many survive that shit. We're still digging. Bro is sucked into politics. Is that a good idea? Nope. But it forces you to make content about something. The funny thing is, like, you can't make content about politics. It's not easy, bro. It's the hardest thing to do. You have to, like, really time it properly. I think we did found the very, very bottom. Holy crappies. How do we do that? Yeah.
Pretending
the
to be a
ultimate
woman
bottom.
online in order to catfish men is one of the most authentically
Ian from Smosh? Yeah. True. There's definitely a reason for a lookalike. And the angry version, yes. Yes. Perfect answer. Alright, let the battle begin.
can do. I would concept of
Yeah, this is these are very interesting political takes, if you ask me. There's a lot of them, basically. I don't even know what to
why do
choose
people
from.
in India hate and become massive?
I'm getting some kind of like history lessons and touching many, many countries of the world. What is going on here?
House is trending again.
Relatively the most interesting person on TikTok that I can actually watch because he's dedicated to this thing. Usually that works out very well.
Making a midwit Marxist argument comes with zero negative social bravery to hate on the poor. Being homeless is a choice. No one chooses to be intentionally homeless is actually one of the most stupid, infantile sentences you can say about another human being. A man who wife doesn't intend for the wife to leave resources for rent on things which are not rent. You have made yourself intentionally homeless. The category intention personality, but also
I don't know, man. He's referencing so many things I don't give a fuck about. Or I have no idea how to feel about the poor
a literary
people
black
thing.
pill.
There's no reason to hate poor people. There's only reason to try and take advantage of them in a capitalistic way.
Adult fiction is literally destroying the human race, and had I the capacity,
There's a lot of lag I have to go
we need to
through.
legalize drunk driving. People who drink and drive are the most widely persecuted minority on planet Earth, and that persecution is fundamentally rooted in questionable science. Firstly, being drunk does not exist. When you're pulled over for drunk driving, what is measured is not your drunkenness, because that is a pseudoscientific category that literally means nothing. What's actually being tangibly measured is your level of blood alcohol. Now, the idea is that that level of blood alcohol latches on to something real. It latches on to your level of impairedness. There is zero evidence that actually exists in a standardized way that applies to all.
I don't fucking understand. Why would he go this way? Like, what are you doing? I really don't think he had soaked in enough stats to actually make any of these decisions, bro. And even beyond that, like, alcohol is the most damaging and the most damning thing. So you don't want to deal with alcoholic people at all, especially on the fucking road, where they have the power to kill other people. Oh my fucking god. See, like, sometimes a fucking Herb Derb shows up in the feed and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So he's basically discrediting himself every now and then. You just need to catch when it's happening. Just for the sake of, like, wow, shock value, you know?
Decade flinging resources.
The most important thing is, like, do you drink alcohol? Right? Are you a part of that minority that you're trying to defend? Like, you have to have ties. You have to have real fucking ties. You can't just out of your fucking ass start farting about something that you don't give a fuck about. If I could, I would put coffee drinkers into prison. For drunk driving, even if they drunk coffee only. Simply because I don't drink coffee, I don't have ties, and I want bad things to happen to the coffee drinkers just because I don't like humans that much. Nothing bad is gonna happen to me, so I have no ties I can wish bad upon people who I don't give a fuck about. Now, how do we detect coffee drinkers is a whole different category, but this is annoyed me already. And I get the type of content we are indulging, basically. It is the creative sludge, basically. Like, we also even talks about skibidi toilet stuff. for 2 TikToks. I did it for like many videos. I've made drama out of this. I pulled really big. I committed basically in understanding what is the battle happening in Skibidi Toilet. This guy barely scratched titsy bitsy corner of a fucking titanium cube or something. Until I realize the pinnacle moment of like, oh, the face is on the thumbnail. The toilet is the video we would be clicking on. Because it is so common. Videos are so cheap and free and so common that it's almost trash. It's almost someone like put shit in the toilet and we have to watch their shit content that has no soul in it. That's skibidi drama right there. What did this guy say? Well, it's millennial humor, basically. That he gets it as humor. Well, okay, then you have no creative power. You have no ability to intimidate me. I made skibidi into a fucking fascination, into a full-blown drama. I have encapsulated that shit in history, bro.
Could manifest as a disparity.
Yep, gender pay gaps still exist. Uh-oh. We didn't fix the problem, guys.
Not exist. Now, this may love to complain about a centralized digital currency, but no one ever mentions the positive aspects about living in a cashless society. How about the fact that in such a world, there will be much less money to be given to the homeless?
It's already happening, technically. Already we have reduced crime because people don't carry cash, in a way. And
How about that?
People stop picking on you because they know they're not gonna get anything most of the time.
For me personally, this has never been an issue because I never give money to the homeless and I never will. I believe homeless people are a parasitical social class as tangible and as harmful, if not more harmful, than billionaires because at least Jeff Bezos delivers me my packages instead of stealing them. But for other, more feeble-minded hussies, it is a positive thing because they will no longer feel the temptation because they will no longer have the means. Spare any change? Actually, I don't have any spare change to give you. If you are in a first world country with a...
It's absolutely true. You should never give anything for free. That's just messed up. You should play by the rules of the capitalism because capitalism is unfortunately perfect. It's the people that are not perfect. The capitalism itself is perfect. It's a perfect value exchange strategy, right? You do something valuable for me, I do something valuable for you, or I give you the value that you have provided. I give you the money. Money is just a fucking number. It's not that crazy. But giving money to the homeless is like, what did the homeless do to you, bro? What's the valuable thing homeless did? The homeless person has to find its own value. And even though it's hard, and the system is still kind of like low level, that's just what's supposed to happen. The only reason why capitalism doesn't work is people don't know how to do capitalism, doesn't know how to deal with the perfect system like that. And giving money away to homeless people and charities is actually destroying you and them in the process. You're destroying capitalism in the process. You're just burning money, basically. This should be illegal in a way. But as illegal as starving people to death, right? As praising capitalism when capitalism is not good enough, not established enough. And then people can't just earn a living. They start with zero sometimes, right? They don't have good parents or something. They get robbed. Like at some point, someone else destroyed capitalism and you cannot expect the other person to support capitalism when they have no money. So in that sense, if the homeless person feels robbed to you, there is a reason to give money, right? If they're starving and they're hurting and they're real people, you have to help them. It's fine. And hopefully they're going to be grateful, right? Hopefully there's some kind of esoteric value being given to you. I have a character and I didn't fucking use it for this speech. How homeless am I? It's literally just hanging around in the corner, away from all the people. So it's a two-edged sword. In a world where capitalism works, homeless people are a problem. And in a world where capitalism doesn't work, homeless people are your friends. Unfortunately, you get to decide. We all get to decide. We live in socialism. We get to decide things for ourselves, and we talk about it. We esteem about it.
Surface level aesthetics or the appearance of it. I mean, what is a skibbity toilet? Well, on a fundamental level, it is a head placed inside of a toilet. But what did the creator mean by that? When you see a film or a photograph, everything in that frame is put there with intention and with meaning. What was the meaning of putting a head inside of a toilet? Now, you have heard the phrase, get your mind out of the gutter, a common truism warning about the dangers of deviancy, of sin, however you understand that concept. But what if I said to you the phrase, get your mind out of the toilet? Ah, then we're getting somewhere, aren't we? What if the skibbity toilets are the physical manifestation of degeneracy? And what then is the world of skibbity toilet but a world conquered by sin? There is a passage in the Bible that
Bro is starting to speak the truth about this. I did not expect this, to be
says
honest.
that which is done in the shadows will be brought to light. And then ask yourself, who are the main opposition to the skibbity toilets? It is, of course, the speaker men. Notice the speaker men, how their heads are always means of communication. Their heads are literally cameras because they are the physical manifestation of bringing things in.
Degeneracy is the best thing to use. I'm just now realizing how strong the word degeneracy actually is. That, like, someone like Mr. Beast is borderline degenerate. Always borderline degenerate. Always crossing that border for the sake of something. Or has degenerate friends basically exposed. Well, he's going the right direction, absolutely.
Ronald Reagan would have loved Skibbity Toilet. As the 40th President of the United States, he would first and foremost appreciate how the cameramen were actually confronting the Skibbity Toilets. See, Ronald Reagan crystallized. When we age, our fluid intelligence decreases, but older people score higher on crystallized intelligence, which maps onto the ability to apply the knowledge you currently have. If someone has decades of political experience, being older is an asset for them, not a hindrance.
Yeah, it's very simple. We can have things, those things can be highly technologically advanced, but in order to have something, you have to sacrifice something else. It's a prioritization. And yet, somehow, going outside and just enjoying the sun is the metagame right now. Just traveling is still the metagame, despite you having all these fucking technologies. Everyone is still talking about politics. That's the metagame, bro. So, what changed? There's definitely something that technology does not change, and old people still can get a grip on whatever the fuck they're into. Alright, cool.
Legalize underage gambling. Not just that, make it mandatory. It should be mandatory for children to gamble. In support of this motion, I will be bringing you.
What the fricky dicky, dude? Technically, I can understand that. You give them money, you throw them into a fucking. I mean, in schools, there should be a lesson about gambling. Because there's definitely a lesson to be learned of why not to do it ever in adult years. Absolutely. People should get drunk in the classrooms for the social sciences. That's pretty fucking next level, right? Like what people tend to do but tend to basically lose their souls to. That's a very interesting concept already.
That is math. That is problem solving. That is decision making. That is risk taking.
Get the fuck. Okay, he's overreacting on this one. If gambling was about skill, then it would be quite interesting. But then it's called competition. It's called Mr. Beast games. Oh my fucking god.
If you encounter these people in the
Interesting.
wild, you truly... Jon Stewart destroyed an entire generation of...
Source?
Here is a true way to gauge someone's actual intelligence. If you're having a discussion or debate with them, do they ask you for a source pointlessly? That is the midwit's concealed dagger. That is the Redditor gambit. Now, if you are making a very esoteric or heterodox claim, maybe a source is needed. If you and me are walking through London and the conversation is literally, wow, all these big glass soulless buildings sure are ugly. I don't want to be asked, do you have any objective definition for what ugly means? Any source? Any proof that modern buildings are uglier than older ones? People who do this are the walking definition of Dunning-Kruger, and they are in ascendancy. They are empowered like never before. It used to be the case that when you disagreed with someone, the default assumption was that you simply had opposing worldviews. But around 2010, there was a fundamental zeitgeist shift. Now when you disagree with someone, their default assumption is that they have all the evidence, they have all the facts, they have all the logic, and you're operating off of harmful
This is quite an interesting phenomenon. Technically, my friend even got sucked into that. And it's already a telltale sign that something is going low IQ up in here. But a lot of haters also just not satisfied, basically. They don't want opinions, they want facts, bro. They want something reliable. They want to connect to their, factual universe. But that's just, yeah, a dummy. A dummy who wants to be connected to the mainstream. No matter what political side that is, it's just still mainstream. Whether it's up or down, whether it's a rewind or moving forward. Progressivism or conservatism, right? To ask for a source is to be dissatisfied. So my friend used to do that, and I still remember the water comment of like, where's the scientific source that water is harmful? You are the source. You can taste a drink just plain water. You can taste a drink where you mix in ingredients that are actually tasty. Those are two different drinks, bro. Which one would you prefer to drink all the time? And then you realize you have an abundance of something that fucking tastes good and feels good. An abundance of something that feels bad immediately. When I drink water, it feels bad immediately. Now, I just learned that my country's water is fucking dirty shit. It's like, in Europe, it's like bottom 3. So, of course, it's bad for me. Of course, I have terrible water. But there's actually a solution to it. And by having terrible water, I was able to understand how to make terrible water into some good water. Where's the source? I am the fucking source, bro. And that's the point. Like, people who want source, they want more credibility, and your opinion does not matter anymore. And potentially, you can hurt your friends with that shit. By no longer listening to your friends and you just listening to the sources. Like, it is a delicate choice. And you should be offended, especially if your friends do it. See, my friends really hated TikTok as a source. It's like, what? And yet TikTok never fucking lied. It was the best source all the time. It's like, what are you talking about? These people are genuine and they have no bad intentions, unlike the media. So, my friend just got fucking impaled by his own fucking arrogance of wanting for a source. This thing fucking killed my best friend. Obviously, the finishing touch was pretty devastating, as he did it himself. But this is definitely a big one. Continue, my good sir.
Twinkster is foundational to the fabric of Western society. You should not be allowed to post actual war footage. If I could deplatform anyone, I would take out Sam Sulek. This man is a psyop. He is a tool used to genocide twinks out of existence. My people are under attack. Because of this man, you have swarms of
My
teenagers.
people are under attack. Wow, opposition, guys.
It improves your
Oh my god, tipping is bandit's toll for him. That's so fucking cool. Yeah, never give money for free. You actually supposed to haggle for the best deal possible. That's part of the fucking job of having money. Having money is still a fucking job. Spending money is still a job, bro.
So here is why Karl Marx would hate waitresses. Now, utilizing a Marxist lens, we can view the waitress as a parasitical social class like the landlord or the homeless person. Now,
I love it. I love the parasitical nature being labeled on landlords, bro. Bro is exposing the parasites of the capitalism. Let's
when
go.
you reach a parasitical social class like the
You gotta love the baby music in the background. Holy shit.
so most likely a
Lobsters are literally insect. What? Roach allergies.
I am aroused by Skibbity Toilet. Skibbity Toilet is an evocative piece of media. No other piece of media produced in the past 20 years has been able to come even close to the level of evocation as Skibbity Toilet. And that is a fact, and I think I've deciphered as to why. You see, Skibbity Toilet is fundamentally a very masculine piece of media. In fact, Skibbity Toilet intentionally has 0 female characters within it. And that translates over to the actual content of the show. There is no dialogue, there is no effeminate, effete intercourse, there is no interlocution, there is simply combat and conflict. And the conflict in Skibbity Toilet is as base as it is guttural. It's primal, it is almost in a human state of nature, but in the Hobbesian sense rather than the Rousseau sense. There is no international law in Skibbity Toilet. There are no rules of engagement in Skibbity Toilet. Skibbity Toilet is all against all. It is a Hobbesian nightmare of complete and utter total war. And it is as horrifying as it is relatable. When I see the Skibbity Toilet getting pounded by the Speaker Titan, I can see myself in that face. Indeed, is there not a reason that the Skibbity Toilets are designed to look like us, if we are not to relate to them on some certain level? I wonder. I am aroused by Skibbity Toilet. Skibbity Toilet is an evocative current political
This one's good too, and this one's good too. Continue Skibbity.
Skibbity Toilet isn't brain rot, it is a show for geniuses.
That was
Your
fun.
IQ is directly tied to your opinion on Skibbity Toilet. If you hate Skibbity Toilet, you are by definition a midwit. I could chart you on a bell curve, and you would all amass in the direct center. You need to be a very high IQ schizoid or an absolute
bro.
base
Oh my god.
to enjoy Skibbity Toilet. What worries me is that there is a generational consensus that Skibbity Toilet is brain rot. Zoomers, on large, despise Skibbity Toilet, and that worries me. That is concerning. What is brain rot? Well, per Urban Dictionary, it is short-form content that provides empty stimulation without meaning. But how can a show have no meaning? Even absurdism, even the absence of a meaning, is itself meaning. Like an empty space in a crossword puzzle. It invites you to supplant meaning upon it. There is no such thing as a meaningless piece of artwork, which Skibbity Toilet objectively is. So why then do Zoomers hate it? Why do they find it devoid of meaning? If we work backwards, could it be the case that Zoomers hate it because it is an empty crossword puzzle? Meaning is not filled in for them by an external third party, i.e., there is no social engineering in Skibbity Toilet. Perhaps that's the issue. If you've grown up watching shows like Steven Universe, which will tell you what opinions to have on current political issues, maybe then any show without that feels empty, void, like a nothingness. Perhaps that explains your sensation of brain rot, that when invited to think for yourself, you actively experience your own brain rotting. Samantha. Skibbity Toilet isn't brain rot, it is a show for geniuses. It is basically a framework by which the outcome... I don't care about the details of Israel versus Palestine, because it is by definition... Can we use game theory to predict whether or not Neon's girlfriend is actually using him? Well, let's see, but first let's define our parameters. The real way to measure someone's actual intelligence is not to have them do a test or to ask them about cereal. These are eccentricities people pick up on Reddit. The real way to observe someone's actual intelligence, both fluid and crystallized in the wild, is to observe a set pattern of behaviors, or in this case, just one. Have they ever commented this under any video ever? If so, it's over. If you've ever said, bro said a whole lot of nothing under a complex video, it's over for you. When you see someone say, bro said a whole lot of nothing, what you're actually seeing is two things, two key manifestations, and never anything else. Number one, there was a big word in that piece of media. They didn't quite fully understand it. Therefore, they couldn't fully understand the video. Therefore, the video was bad, and that's your fault. That's your fault. Their ignorance is your fault. Oh, sorry, you said autodidact instead of I learned it myself. Therefore, your video was bad. Sorry. And the second thing you're seeing is actually the ultimate debate tactic. When someone says bro said a whole lot of nothing, what they're actually saying is that I disagree with you, but I don't know why, but I still want to be correct. So therefore, I will craft the ultimate argument, which is just never understanding you. Therefore, I can never be convinced. Therefore, I win by default. What's really annoying is not only are they correct, but it works. It works every single time, which is why you just block them. The real way to measure someone's actual intelligence is not to have them do a test
Yeah.
or to ask.
They're such good winners. You block them, they win.
Diabetes and perish,
But yeah,
destroying entire local ecosystems. It's not good.
Fucking TikTok can't pause. Jesus Christ. You naturally ban people that don't like you because there's no reason to connect with people who don't fucking like you, right? So it's a lot easier to, if you bothered by people who don't like you, it's time to ban them, right? You have to have these like very, very oversimplified principles. Yes, you can find reasons to ban people. You can be reasonable on top of that. That's nice. Yap Master. Jesus. Yes, people are playfully disrespectful. Wow.
Doing something bad.
Somehow I secretly want my channel to be that thing that where you get blocked from, and that's the consequence. You can't type in comments anymore, and that's the consequence. That's the big deal that you just lost, and other people are enjoying themselves. Somehow I see myself like that. Technically, like, being a part of, like, a decent Discord community is a similar thing.
Edging to
Absolutely,
homeless
I
people
have that
isn't
too.
easy if they're set up in the
Alright, he's on a roll against homeless and talking about skibidi, bro.
middle of central
Oh
London.
my
I'm
god.
sorry. If someone doesn't have access to food, you feed them. If someone doesn't have access to appropriate medical care, you provide that for them. But in this society uniquely, when someone is an incel, what is the response? It's to go, oh well, oh you want help? Oh yeah, you seem very entitled. Very entitled. Are you aware no one owes you anything? You seem very entitled. It's a strange notion, a queer one, that no one owes incels anything, because in the Western world, we simply don't believe that. We don't believe that no one is owed the basic necessities of existence, of life itself. We know, not in a platitudinal, airy-fairy way, that love is a basic necessity of human life. We've done studies on it. It is a scientific fact. When you deprive babies of love and affection, they don't get depressed, they don't get sad, they don't start doing worse, they die. Same for the very, very old, and people at all stages of their life. Long-term chronic loneliness destroys a person's life expectancy. Depriving someone of love and affection is violence. Violence no less damaging or lethal than depriving them of food. So not only are incels owed something, they're owed a whole lot. They are owed a Green New Deal, but for love. They are owed an incel bill of human rights, guaranteeing them the things they need to continue existing with life and dignity on planet Earth. Now, if we are to view taxation...
Unfortunately for this freak, you know, he picked the wrong timing to attack homeless. So everything just kind of fall apart. Skibidi's not a really strong fucking stance. I did the drama for 1 year, that's cool. That was cool. It was last year? Yeah? Okay. So you can do it across 2024 and be relatable to some extent. But now he's kind of spamming content, actually.
Homeless people
Here we
are
go
more
again.
privileged, lashing it. Start throwing toxic
Yeah, maybe like very vile homeless people. And then in parts, we are supposed to criticize the refugees. Counterless. Countryless. See, that's all there is in his content. Oh no, the globe
We should
earther,
blow up the
bro.
moon. Prologue.
What the
The moon.
frick?
The moon is easily the most evil celestial body ever created. Do you know that the moon is almost universally associated with the feminine? Not an insult, just an observation. A simple observation. Hating the moon is not a niche or novel opinion. In fact, the mathematics professor Alexander Abian, who taught at the University of Iowa, was the first to propose that we should blow up the moon with nuclear weapons. You see, the moon has an impact on planet Earth. Its gravitational pull causes the Earth to wobble ever so slightly. This causes
Seasons! Fucking
seasons.
degeneracy,
And with
holy
seasons come
shit.
extreme
Globe
weather
Earth
conditions,
degeneracy
heat
right there.
waves, tsunamis.
Oh, it's the moon's fault, actually.
The moon has indirectly, or shall we say, seasons.
I love how gravity causes globe Earth to exist in general. So fucking hard, and gravity itself barely exists.
So I would deport Hassan Piker. I would. To me, it's a no-brainer. To me, it's the simplest decision ever made by anyone.
Wow, apparently H3 was based, and I don't doubt that shit. I just gave credit to iDubbbz for doing something interesting, you know?
Displays profound disloyalty to one of their countries, there are unique consequences for doing so. My one and only ask is that those unique consequences simply be applied.
Yeah, being disloyal and rich, that's fucking disgusting.
Channel. I'm a skibbity toilet channel. Y'all are following a weirdo.
Bless
Universe's most peaceful.
Very interesting ending on this one. Yeah, we should divide and conquer, am I right? We should put migrants against each other. We should pick the ones that we like and pit them against the shitty migrants. That is the way we fucking win this game. Let's go, bro.
To power. What do they do?
Yeah, how the fuck the UK can't get migration under control even though Brexit happened?
Circles the West
But bro is spamming every day. How does he do
in the
that?
world. Skibbity toilet, and it wears a fedora. Now, a fedora online is synonymous with. Now, it is no coincidence that the fedora Skibbity toilet is armed with an acidic, toxic weapon. The creator of Skibbity Toilet is literally telling us that the ideology there within is destructive. It is toxic to all who consume it. But there's more. The Fedora Skibbity Toilet was thought to have been defeated, but he has recently come back in episode 67. By who? Who revivified him? Why, of course, it is the science Skibbity Toilet. This to me is very blatant because Reddit tier atheists are very well known for their performative love of science. They heckin' love science. And observe how these two forces join together to defeat the Speaker Titan. What do? Why, they show him media that makes him destroy himself. And is the Speaker Titan a stand-in for Western civilization? I don't know, that's just a theory.
Very interesting. You can use science to destroy yourself. Or make people destroy themselves if they believe nonsense. Or science can reinforce stupid beliefs.
Civility is true. If you see someone hitting
Somehow he's connecting usage of substance with civility, which is quite interesting.
excellence
Oh man, this is fucked up a little bit.
class in this country.
So far I think it's like 50-50, and let's pull out the calculation. The fucked up videos versus nice.
Colonizers.
Yeah, so Speakerman and Skibbity Toilet don't have faces because they can't afford having faces. Nobody knows about them. It's people versus degenerate celebrities, basically, in a way, or influencers. That's the way I see it, and that's where it ends. Like, still trying to find some shit.
Waitresses are worse
So
than,
it's neither.
than serial killers. I would rather let
think
8,000 Jeffrey Dahmers roam free.
it's not that fucking, like, pretending that waitresses Block
Brazilian
you from
Parliament has authorized the
substance.
construction of a massively built a parking lot.
I guess that's pretty interesting. Highway through Brazilian forest, the neo-pagan worship. Wow.
Public school. There is an ongoing effort to turn every single vector of public
Alright.
existence into a neurodivergent queer mind. It should be illegal to live in the country.
Okay.
Believe in free will while also knowing exactly who Christian is entirely dependent upon the rational decisions you've chosen to. Two things. Number one, you hate the woke government. Different prices for the exact same consumer products. When you go key foundational experiences that create a spiritual self by embracing the wand, you are anti-maxium. But they don't. They universally reject it. Psychoanalytic theory, utilizing the process of subculling the structure. Incursions into the Red Sea in a blatant violation of this moment. Not because they actually object to anything he's done or in at least a British context has undeniably failed. So Square, the Instagram Black Square. Black Square was millions of the incel community, and that is...
That's a fucking win right there. I guess I'll just...
wrong. Incels should be tax-free. Incels should not have to pay taxes. That to me is just a given. You know, some people think that what is going on in Palestine is a terrible genocide, and maybe it is. I'm not really a political person. But what I know is that while the
Not
Palestinians
really
are
a political
experiencing is
person,
nowhere near
he
the
is.
level of oppression that the incel community faces. Because whenever you think about Gaza, it is true that the Gazans are actually not paying taxes towards the Israeli state. They are not funding their own genocide with their own tax dollars. For the incel community, that is not the case. For the past 20 to 30 years, all scholarship, all government and institutional attention directed towards the incel community has been done with the express intention of genociding them with surgical precision. If you don't believe me, I would encourage you to look up Gregory Stanton's 10 Stages of Genocide. You will see the treatment of the incel community easily fits. Ask yourself objectively, what is worse, being the subject of a genocide or being the subject of a genocide and being required to be a mandatory participant in your destruction? This is, in and of itself, the essence of European colonialism. It's not a cynical ploy.
I just hate how much TikTok is lagging, but overall, good content. Can't say nothing against it.
When you're a Disney adult,
Oh my god, he just puked like 4 bad ones though.
Things do you think is the more moral option? I know what I think. Do not donate money to Palestine. That's like buying an early access game on Steam that you know is never actually going to come out. You should instead invest that money wisely in Skibidi toilet merchandise because that will actually do some good for the world. Aid does not work, and that has been the unblemished consensus amongst international development scholars for decades now. Aid doesn't work for 2 reasons. Number one, it doesn't go where it's meant to go, and it doesn't do what it is meant to do. When you donate money, it doesn't go straight to the people who you think is going to receive it. It is put through a filtration system like a filthy fish tank from hell. Firstly, it normally goes through an NGO, which takes a large cut for marketing. Yet your money for starving orphans is actually being spent on marketing. And what the NGOs don't take is then passed on to the elites of that country who themselves, due to massive corruption, pilfer it like a cartoon pirate chest. And when it finally reaches the intended recipients, it is a crumb. Even when the money somehow magically arrives, it never actually solves the problem, it perpetuates it forever, because it creates dependency. For example, if a country achieves full food security via international aid, what then is the incentive structure for them to make the investment in their own food infrastructure, when they already get it for free? Exactly zero. It's an investment they will not make. So aid in practice only serves to do 2 things. Number 1, freeze crises in place forever. And number 2, make rich people even richer in very poor countries. But when you buy Skibidi toilet merchandise, number 1, that money goes where it needs to go, and number 2, that money helps that person make more Skibidi toilet. It is Skibidi toilet infrastructure investment. Which of those things do you think is the more moral?
Damn, bro. That's high level shit, bro. Like, again, I know that charities are terrible, but I have not listed multitude of reasons why that doesn't work. And he listed them all. Very clean. Very precise. And extremely entertaining, too.
plate. Balloons Tower Defense 6 is a fascist game. You inherently there is a
No,
banal
it's
evil
fucked
in the
up,
nature
bro.
of
It's
Balloons
fucked up.
Tower Defense
It's
6.
fucked up.
Child labor should be made mandatory and it should be made universal. It should be a felony to be an unemployed child. That is laziness, that is indolence, and the unacceptable. There is no excuse to be under the age of 10 and to be unemployed. You are actually privileged in the employment market. You have access to career opportunities that adults do not have. You can be a child actor. And if we lived in a sane country, you would be allowed to use your tiny little hands to repair dangerous machinery, therefore maximizing industrial shareholder value, therefore increasing tax revenue, therefore meaning there is going to be more money to be spent and invested in infrastructure, healthcare, and money for poor orphans. Poor orphans who can then themselves be put to work in industrial machinery. It is quite frankly an infinite money.
See, the funny thing is, it's completely true, but for one big reason. You should get easily a job, right? When everyone is obsessed about giving children jobs, then they finally gonna get the fucking jobs, right? And most importantly, they're gonna get an understanding of what a job is. Because even though I'm sitting here privileged with the understanding of what it is, some children do not for a very long time. Until they actually get a job, so they don't even understand why they're in the schools in the first place. Most of the time, they're gonna be fucking weirded out the fact that they're stuck at schools. And even more weirded out by the nature of reality of you have to earn money now. Oh wow, where did that came from? You know, that was not a thing. So, yeah, that's a good take.
You see me.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, child labor is illegal and is frowned upon, but we have schools which we equally despise. So which one is better? You know?
Ethics. It has a
Oh
lens
my
through which
god,
it
bro.
views
Wait, what? What was that footage, though?
Playing Minecraft makes values. It has ethics. Minecraft is then defined by a sole principle, and
That's
is
not Minecraft.
property. Back to the European style of token-esque fantasy, insofar as you have moral clarity, there is objective good, there is objective evil. That's conservative as fuck. Freerun is an aggressively conservative TV show. First of all, the show has literally zero diversity and actively rejects the concept of coexistence. In Freerun, coexistence is a lofty yet fundamentally doomed ideal that is framed as being the root of all suffering. The main antagonists of Freerun are the demons, a race of beings who are quite literally just evil. By nature, just evil. And any attempt to coexist with them always results in death and disaster. Now in Freerun, the humans maintain separateness from undocumented demons by constructing a big, magical, beautiful border wall and maintaining it vigilantly. And Freerun makes it
Yeah, this is very simple, right? That's the conservative ideology that he's spreading in general. Of not giving poor people handouts in any way and keeping your kingdom private from all the fucking leeches, basically, and demons. It's just that simple.
by the good he.
Get the fuck out of here, defender of Taylor Swift, really? Have you been in a concert or something? I don't get it, dude.
Destroy all.
Is there... I've never been in a concert. I've never been invited to a concert. Jesus Christ, man. I don't know how incels do it, bro. But yet again, he is drunk driving, he likes smoking, and he loves Taylor Swift concerts. Like, fuck yeah, dude. This is sort of like a deranged, basically, soul travel that he's doing, basically. And then you understand of, like, why incels are the way they are. They, like, schizo soul traveling without actually standing up for who they actually are. What is this, my final boss?
All ghouls and mutants. The British government casually dropped what is, in terms of sample size, the largest ever study conducted on the incel community, and it got zero press coverage for obvious reasons. First of all, the incel community is demographically very diverse. The study queried men from both the UK and America, but in both the American and UK sample sizes, people of color were disproportionately more likely to be members of the incel community, but the UK dataset to me was striking. Despite being just 4% of the UK's population, black people made up 16% of the UK's incel population. This, in my mind, goes a long way to explaining the strange, unexplained animus directed towards the incel community from people online. It's a dog whistle. You're dog whistling, Samantha. Now, we frequently hear how the incel community is a hub of violence and right-wing extremism, but according to this report, not true at all. Most incels politically leaned center-left. And the overwhelming majority of the incel community rejected political violence on an anonymous survey. In fact, only 5% said that violence was often justified against people who harmed their community. The wording of that question to me is fundamentally sus, and the community still knocked it out of the park. Which is why the government's ultimate conclusion was that incels needed to be referred to therapy, not counter-terrorism. Wow, who could have told them that? The British government casually dropped what isn't on the medium.
What?
Through
Tana
Mojo's
Mojo?
lens, we
What?
to have a poop
What
song.
is
We're gonna be
going
due to the
on,
feminist
bro?
takeover of our let's make it to Agartha.
What is going on?
My mom found my poop sock. What do I do? Thank you for this question. It's a good question. Many young men in their teenage years will have, maintain, and grow a poop sock. It's a very old,
Satire, guys.
masculine tradition to have a poop sock. Regrettably, due to the feminist takeover of our political and social institutions, it is no longer a politically correct thing to do to maintain a basic poop sock. Consequently, many young men online seek out dangerous alternatives like the coom jar. Like the pee drawer. These alternatives are
My God.
dangerous. Were you aware they were once now?
He said something very scary, by the way. A lot of people just love being wrong. It's the scariest thing. It's like catch the demon when it pops, you know? Which is why it's, you know, you give people chances, but if they're constantly wrong and viciously wrong, that's it. You gotta stay away from that shit.
Western world.
And in this guy's case, I would think even being 50% correct is good enough to be justified.
When this song rose to
Especially when you come up with like crazy ideas. I do feel a lot of morality in current day is built on patience. And this is something I'm gonna touch on the next video when talking about criticism. Something about patience in today's world is incredibly essential. Especially if you do wrong moves, you're blockading yourself from the goodness of the world evolving inside of you, in a way. Continue. I'll give 3 more minutes, maybe. Maybe. An ending. Give me an ending at the moment.
about a woman that was the price of having clear
Oh
skin.
my God! Everything is an enemy, bro. To him, even losing microplastics is the enemy. Read the fucking Bible, bro.
Skibbity Biden
Yeah, I
is
think I'm gonna
America's enemy.
overdose on this
Say what you want
guy.
about the skibbity toilet.
Oh
It is
my
undoubtedly-
God, bro. Skibidi Toilets yearns for freedom, bro.
Hannah Montana is a fascist dog whistle. Now let me explain. The story of Hannah Montana is fundamentally a tale about a teenager going to a high school and who is pretending to be normal, pretending to be in possession of normal ideology, but secretly they are assuming an alternative ego in order to produce and disseminate agitation propaganda, literal media for their classmates to consume, all the while not revealing their true identity or intentions. That is fascism. I mean, just do a lyrical analysis of the song The Best of Both Worlds. You will see she is quite literally hiding in plain sight. The song begins by saying, being famous, it can be kind of fun. It's really you, but no one ever discovers. She acknowledges that her ideology is already famous, but she also has a reason to hide it. Fascism, as we all know, was a reaction to Bolshevism and fundamentally a move away from liberalism, but it also viewed itself fundamentally as the fusion of these two ideologies. And indeed, third positionists to this very day continue to believe that between capitalism and communism, they represent the best of both worlds. The very same motto that Hannah Montana screams in the chorus. This is not a coincidence.
I think it's governism. I think fascism is governism, fundamentally. While whatever the fuck he did is a good ending for the story because it's a glitch. I'm watching Hannah Montana right now. Mostly, even though Miley Cyrus destroyed her looks. Someone didn't. Her friend actually fucking carried her even more in terms of attractiveness, while this guy is just stuck in politics. I don't know why. That's where his entire personality just crammed into this one thing. Thank you guys for watching. Bro has been fundamentally figured out. I think the vibe has been cleared of what he's doing, basically. It's like a satire account, but it is spammy at that point. It is taking its job seriously, which is annoying in a way. Because it's not really about good ideas. Like, if this is what we have, I mean, what? This is your top comment? In what universe? The only question remains, what about the incel thing? I told you, patience. It's a big fucking deal that we have to unpack at some point. Thank you guys for watching.